So, if you are new to FPL, you're probably thinking, what the hell is it? Well, the FPL, or Fantasy Premier League in full, is the official and by far most popular fantasy football game of the English Premier League, home to over 4.5 million managers last season alone. To sign up, all you have to do is head over to fantasy.premierleague.com, hit sign up, and follow the on-screen instructions, which will simply involve putting in some of your details, such as your email, your name, your password, and then responding to a confirmation email. Great, so now that you're signed up, we move on to the most important part, your team selection. In FPL, you must select a squad of 15 players in total, from all players currently participating in the Barclays Premier League. You can't just select any old player though, you're limited to 2 goalkeepers, 5 defenders, 5 midfielders and 3 forwards, and you can only select a maximum of just 3 players per club. You're also limited to a fantasy transfer budget of £100 million. However, the better the player, the more they're going to cost you, so you've got to be thrifty with your spending. Each player has their own individual price based on FPL potential and past season performances. So a high calibre player, for example Harry Kane, is going to cost you a lot more than a striker from a recently promoted club. Player prices will change as the season progresses, with values moving up or down depending on their performances and popularity, so again, you've got to remain vigilant with your spending budget, and keep an eye on those transfer values. Once you're happy with how your team's looking, hit submit, and now comes another big decision, your team name. Now, you must be informed that having a good team name is engraved into FPL folklore, and a bad one can lose you some serious brownie points with friends and colleagues alike. Get creative, avoid anything cringy, and you'll be on to a winner. Team names are changeable throughout the season though, so don't panic too much if you can't decide right away, just make sure to make it a good one. Okay, so you've picked your team. Now, how do you score points? All the points earned in FPL will be based on your player's real life performances. So if your striker scores in real life, he'll get you points in the game. Perhaps your midfielder gets an assist, he'll get you points. Or maybe your defender or goalkeeper keeps a clean sheet, he doesn't concede any goals, then he'll get you points as well. A breakdown of all points players can pick up from each position can be found under the rules section of the official FPL website. Each game week, you must select 11 players from your original 15-man squad to actively score you points for that particular week. The players that you place on your bench won't score you points for that week, unless someone else in your team doesn't play, and then they'll automatically be substituted in. During every game week, you'll also have to select your team captain. This is a hugely important decision for FPL managers, because your captain will earn double the points for that week. So, your team's submitted, but some of your players are underperforming and you want to make some transfers. Well, on FPL, you're permitted to make as many transfers as you like from week to week. However, there's a catch. Only 1 transfer per week is free. Each and every other additional change will take -4 points from your overall score. The more transfers you make within a game week, the more points you'll lose, and therefore the bigger risk you take. If you choose not to use your free transfer for 1 game week, it will carry over to the next, but you can only ever have a maximum of 2 free transfers per game week. It won't ever increase to any more than 2. And lastly, for the basics of our FPL crash course, is your chips. FPL chips are essentially power-ups that can be utilised at any point during the season. These chips, or power-ups, are the bench boost, where for 1 week, your bench players all become active in your point scoring. The triple captain, where for 1 week, your team captain will get his points multiplied by 3 rather than 2. And the free hit chip, which is a brand new chip for this season. This allows you to completely change your team for 1 week only, selecting any players that you like within your budget before then switching back to your original squad the following week. And finally, the wild card, which allows you to completely overhaul your squad permanently, permitting you to unlimited transfers for a game week at no cost to your points. All the chips can only be used once per season, except for the wild card, which can be played twice. Once before December the 31st and once after. Of course, all of this information can be found more in detail on the official website. Be sure to stay tuned and subscribe to FPL TV for future videos on how best to utilise these chips. So that concludes our 5-minute crash course on how to play the Fantasy Premier League. If that's the only information you came here for, well, then I guess our time together is done. I wish you all the best of luck this season, and a like would be greatly appreciated on this video. However, if you liked what you saw and want to see more, then be sure to support my channel, hit the subscribe